Okay, so this is my first foray into Mural Piece. If you don't know, which I can't believe that you don't, but in chapter 1137, we are introduced to a very large, detailed mural that pretty much tells the story, even though very vaguely, of the One Piece world, possibly up to this point. Now, with that being said, I do find it very interesting that we do seem to see the Arc Maxim and the Noah in this mural. As I believe I have said before, it is very interesting that we've had two arcs present in the story, which of whom both have some correlation to devil fruits, and both of them were going to destroy their respective islands. The Maxim was en route to destroy Skypiea, and the Noah, under the influence of the Mark fruit, was going to destroy Fishman Island. That in itself is very interesting and a topic for another time. But what starts to make me think a little bit more is really about ENERU or NL. I think he's more like Frankie than we might give him credit for, because not only is he intelligent, we know that the Arc Maxim was probably not his idea originally. Additionally, on top of that, we have never seen Burka, where the Birkins come from, and we'll probably never see her because supposedly it was destroyed by ENERU. With that being said, I do think just because he was able to fix the Maxim, ENERU has very in-depth knowledge of how it works. Even though, too, he did commission slave labor on Skypiea to build it, I think he got the blueprints for the Maxim from his homeland of Burka. Much like how Frankie had the blueprints passed down from Tom and then to Iceberg to him for the Pluton. That's what I think. Because it's very obvious that this arc flying with oars and other spindles in the mural is a reference to the Maxim. Not only that, the Maxim in the mural seems to be shooting lightning, which also makes me think that much like the human fruit model Nika and Yamato's fruit, the rumble fruit or the Goro no Mi possibly has some sort of cultural or religious significance to Burka, which is why when ENERU took it for himself, he claimed himself to be a deity because of the significance of this fruit that his culture has placed on it. Seeing as how this fruit was held in such high regard, eating the fruit must obviously mean that he has now inherited that regard, which makes him a deity. That's what I'm thinking. And then when we talk about the drums, even though the drums aren't present here, they are very reminiscent of the shield that we see Nika holding and one of the symbols on one of the many ships in the mural. So maybe the symbol is significant on Burka. And because of how the body would look while surrounded by said dots, perhaps he was trying to make himself emblematic of this symbol by putting the drums on his back, which then double back into him being a reference to the Raijin. That's what I'm starting to think. Because it's very weird, too, just how adept he was with his ability. So, we've never seen him as a child, so we don't know how long he's had the fruit. But based on just how crafty he was and what he could do with his ability, it stands to reason that he was very skilled at doing such. And what makes this very more, I guess, interesting is that we haven't really seen a Logia be as crafty as him until we met Caesar Clown. It's very interesting that Caesar Clown 2 is a scientist. So maybe that's what the two have in common. They just were the right person at the right time who ate the right kind of fruit. Though Caesar Clown is more of an egomaniac, and then NL has more of a god complex. And I think that's just the difference there. But it just really makes you think about all the things that happen in Skypiea and how all of these could have had some sort of religious or cultural significance on Burka based on both of them coming together in this mural. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What's it?